So the other day I was talking to a friend actually about emotional well-being, and I was surprised that she was not doing well actually. And you know what was her question? What is the best way to manage my emotional well-being? If she asks you the question, Tricia, what would your answer be maybe?
Well, it's critical to our life. Our emotional well-being is our driving force which carries us through all kinds of situations in our life, whether it be work or family or personal relationships or our health. So it's really important, and I'm sure that we would agree that it takes many different angles. It's not one answer solves all.
Right.
But
yeah.
I come from a perspective of the mind, specifically the mind, because, you know, here we are, all well-abled, you know, very capable people who can walk and talk and work and live and enjoy life. But there are people who are bedridden, or people who are in prison, or people who are not in the same kind of level of life that we are in. So what about them? You know, it's okay for us to say, well, we could go for a run, or we could do this, or visit our doctor. But there are people who can't do that, and yet they are able to obtain emotional well-being. So
and sometimes better than the person outside of
so
that.
what is the secret? And
right.
I believe the secret is all in the mind.
In the mind.
So if we are able to quieten our mind whenever something is going on, whenever we're feeling emotionally imbalanced, and find out what the actual thoughts and the belief system is behind that emotional reaction, then we're able to possibly, if we have the right tools, and this is how I work with my clients actually, to question what we're thinking. Because sometimes what we're telling ourselves isn't true. And it could be, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, nobody cares about me. Emotional well-being cannot be off balance without another.
This is exactly what we go through when we teach mindfulness in the center.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
We teach about what comes first, the feeling or the emotion. And which one create the other?
Well, I
it's
believe
exactly
it's thought,
right.
which comes with an image.
Right.
They come together.
Yes.
If I said, I saw a dog get hit by a car this morning, we all saw it, right? And if we're a dog lover or animal lover, it's going to hurt.
True.
Yes.
And then we're going to start to have emotions. So the thought comes with an image. That image triggers emotion. Those emotions trigger actions, and then we create our reality out of those actions.
Right.
So I really am a true believer that if we are able to question what we're thinking, if I'm in an emotionally imbalanced situation and I'm thinking, you know, I'm old and nobody's going to ever care about me again, and I have nothing to look forward to.
You're not old.
Is that true? But if that's what I'm thinking, because believe me, I can think that, and I'm sure we've all thought that. And I'm sure people at home have thought that. You know, we've all had the same thoughts. They're all recycled. It's nothing new. She doesn't respect me. He doesn't care about me. They don't want me around. I don't fit in. They don't want me to be a part of their group. I'll never get that promotion. I'll never get that job. I hate myself. I'm not good
enough.
Yeah, I'm a bad person. If only they knew. You know, we share
what we call it rumination, isn't it?
Yes, and we share this. It's a shared belief system. So therefore, if I question that quietly and say, well, is it true that they don't respect me? Is that even possible for me to know that?
But it seems, from these questions, what I can elicit is, it seems that the person who's thinking like that, trying to get some attention from outside and instead of inside. Well, assurance, security, I want to be appreciated.
Yeah, love, appreciation, and acceptance. The thing is, I call it LAA, the thing is, we have no way of being out of kilter without depending on someone else. If we don't depend on anyone else, if we're absolutely able to see within us for our own inner well-being, then the world can continue to turn without me thinking it's about me, it's against me. So I don't have that same level of emotional instability.
It all comes down to awareness at the end of the day. Are you aware of how you're feeling? Are you aware of your emotions? Are you aware of your feelings and your thoughts? And that's mindfulness. That's what we teach.
That's true.
Yes.
When you break it down, if you're aware of everything that's going on. One day I came back from somewhere and I was so upset with my friend, and I was thinking, it was a reaction, and I went away and I was like, I feel so angry, I feel so mad. Why do I feel like this? Nothing has happened to me. I haven't been in an argument. And when I really dug into it, it wasn't even my emotions. I was feeling frustrated and I was feeling angry for another person who I'd been in contact with on the same day.
Because of another person?
Not because of
a trigger,
it was
right?
You brought into their
I
emotions.
see.
She was in a very difficult situation. I felt very frustrated for her, and it wasn't my emotions. I became aware that
So
actually,
you reflected that?
I reflected it, and I felt upset and I felt angry, and I took it out on my friend. And I was thinking, okay, where is this coming from? Why am I feeling like this? And I broke it down and I went back, I got curious, and I realized it was from this lady who I felt a connection with, and I felt very frustrated for her. So at the end of the day, some of our emotions aren't even ours.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah, that's
So on
emotional
behalf,
baggage, right?
on behalf of Elise, we apologize for that. Doctor, what's the best way, if you want to answer that friend of mine, what's the best way to manage your emotional well-being?
So I really love what everybody said. I completely agree, but I'm going to just add another level to it, right? Because I think it's awareness is key, but then you have to look at the different personalities, right?
True.
Everyone is different, and everyone manages and thinks differently. And I don't mean just from the mindset, but just habits and actions from that point of view, because that's going to drive how you now change your emotional well-being state. Some of us are pragmatic. We need to have a system. We need to get things done.
Checklist.
A checklist, right? Some of us
Write
do
it
it
down.
like that.
I love to write.
Some of us do things differently. We do the mind maps where we have many different things going on at the same time, right? So all of us have a different view. Some of us look at life differently again, where we consider how to make things beautiful. Like that gives us some sort of sense of well-being. So it's more of the creative side rather than the practical side. So I think if you're trying to help someone, we have to know the person and they have to know themselves, right? We can't just give a static advice. Okay, this is everybody just needs to be mindful or that sort of thing. I think it comes back to the person and the personality.
What works for them.
Exactly. So that's what I do during my sessions, right? It's about getting to know them getting to know themselves. Because I can't give you advice unless I know you well enough.
There are no advices, true, for fit to all, is it?
Exactly.
Right? Or free sizes advices, sure. But if you put it in lines, let's say if you give me 2 things to do to improve my emotional well-being, what would be these 2?
For me, I mean, I'm very connected to the spiritual side, and remember you mentioned before about creating that world where you're not emotionally influenced, right? So for me, the spiritual side is where I go, because that's my core. That's what gives me that grounding. So while I don't want to be connected to the world or people around me in that, that dependency state, for me it's about connecting to that higher power that controls it all.
Which makes sense, actually.
Right, exactly. So I remember when my life was falling apart years ago, and I told myself, no, my life is not going to fall apart. The whole world will fall apart, but I will remain standing.
Wow.
Because it's you will yourself into it, and it's about having that connection. So I tell my kids, I'm like, it's you and God against the world. You have that. You don't need, in that sense of dependency, you don't need anything else, right?
Yeah.
So for me, that's where
So the
my
spiritual world.
the spiritual
Connecting
connection,
with the spiritual world.
connecting with the concept of you are not in full control. Things will happen that's out of your control, but you have to trust and have hope in the process.
So you do your best.
Yes.
And you wait for outcomes to come.
Not necessarily wait. I mean, it's an active process, but it's about finding the peace and the tranquility inside of you that there is
in the waiting.
Yeah, in the waiting.
In the patiently accepting that you don't control everything.
Exactly.
Finding peace in that and surrendering it.
True.
And having trust that
good will come from it, right? If you believe that
it's all
something
for you, not against you.
Exactly,
so,
exactly. So it's a stepping stone, and I see it more of a challenge, right? Whatever we're going through, how you look at it is important, right? So if you frame it as a challenge, it's something that you will overcome, not as a obstacle that I might not be able to cross.
So what might be the second one then?
Abby,
other than connecting
questions. I thought I was so insightful, Abby. You're so on the
You
second
are.
one.
You are.
I can also offer that it's a big stretch, and I appreciate that, you know, hearing it cold like this would be very difficult in most cases, but nevertheless it's something to investigate, and that is we choose. We have a choice whether we want to wallow, suffer, stay in the swamp, or whether we actually do we have any interest in living our life in the swamp.
But sometimes when you have your head in the clouds, you can't see anything unless somebody stops you and say, you know what, excuse me, you need to change. Now it is your choice to accept it or no. Very many people don't accept it, unfortunately, and that's why they're still in the clouds.
But I think it's where you are in your life. I mean, think about it, a kid's growing up, right? You can't teach a preschooler science for sending things to space, right? It's about where you are at and what information that you're ready to receive.
Yeah.
If you're bringing me information in that I'm not ready to absorb, or I'm not there yet to accept, and that's the beauty of it. Everybody's on a different path on their journey, right? So just because you think you have the brilliant idea how to help someone and they're not ready to accept it.
They might not be ready.
Yeah, they might not be ready.
But it seems for you they are ready. Yeah.
Yeah, you might say, I could see it. I see
if
what you
judging,
need.
yes,
you know what
always,
I mean?
You think they are,
you know better, right?
Exactly.
But you are not in their shoes, and you are not there to fully accept.
Which is why I don't offer advice, because no one listens to it. It's not only a waste of their time, but it makes me feel like I'm not worth anything if they don't do what I ask or suggest. So I just give them a platform or an area, a space where they can find their own wisdom. And from there, that's why when I have clients, no matter what their personality is or their history, their age, their gender, their tradition, their culture, their language, when I have clients and we work on their belief systems, it actually helps them to see the cobweb of that belief system and how that entails so much of their life. And when they scan over their life with the new understanding of what that means to them, they can see where they did this to themselves, let themselves down here, gave too much here, didn't have any boundaries there. So they are able to see the whole lifespan completely differently. And they actually, it's like 10-pin bowling. When you get that core belief that's bringing them down answered, it hits the other 10 pins out of the way. So it's difficult to explain without the experience, but in the experience of itself, when you undo what you've been believing for so long, and
which
you
is
realize
not easy to
it's not easy.
well,
sometimes it's extremely difficult.
Well, that's why the way I work, it's like 4 questions and some turnovers, and they're done. You know, in an hour and a half, they're like, oh my god. But you know,
revelation.
Yeah, it is. It's a revelation. I see people come in crippled and people who walk out going, I'm ready to take on the world because this has changed. If this doesn't change, nothing will change. You can go to the spa, you can go to the beach, you can go to Thailand and sit on a wonderful resort, and everyone comes with you. So again, your insecurities,
carrying the whole world in your mind.
Your insecurities, your disappointments, your lack of self-esteem, your lack of self-worth has got to be grounded in the need of others validating you or seeing you. And when that, it's not just a matter of saying I don't need you, I'm going to be okay, because I'll give that 5 minutes. But you know, it's more about changing the way we see us showing up in life and how we can change it for our greater good and their greater good.
That's a nice answer.
Agreed,
so you said connecting with spirituality, and you saying,
well, it's also very spiritual to go within.
It is.
It's to go within and become spiritual. And I think that we're all talking the same thing.
Absolutely.
Because mindfulness is a huge
you guys
part.
not voice alone in here.
Exactly.
Elise, what's the advice for the friend? What's the best way to manage your emotional well-being?
I think it covers the same thing. When I learned mindfulness, I became so aware and so curious about why I'm feeling this way, what I'm doing, what I can do to feel better. Because at the end of the day, like you said, it's on me. If I don't feel good, then I need to know why. Because we're not supposed to feel bad.
We're not supposed to.
Apparently.
I mean, it's okay.
Apparently.
Not all the time. Not all the time. I take that back. But we are.
We should enjoy our lives.
We should be enjoying.
Well, I think happiness is our birthright.
Yeah,
right?
Is it right? Because I really.
There we go. There we go.
I believe it is, because only this would get in the way. Babies are happy.
That's the thing. I view it differently again, because I think everything that we go through, everything is for a reason. And even if you find happiness even in your sad state by just taking yourself out and reflecting, be like, oh wow, I'm going through this. I'm quite down. there is a reason for this. I will grow from this.
Hence the fact that it is our birthright, because if you don't go through the tunnel, you don't get to the light, right? So it's all for a reason.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we're not allowed or it's not okay for us to have bad moments. But happiness is what is, we can find love in everything. We can literally find love in everything.
Yeah.
So when we get quiet and still with it, we can see that, well, for a start, happiness is overrated, because it's sort of like, you know, a sneeze and then all of a sudden I'll find something else to take me off my path. But it's more of a peaceful existence.
So I call that contentment, right?
Contentment.
Yeah. Right. I personally view the word happiness gives people an illusion of something lala, in my opinion, that is not practical and not real, right? So I go with contentment. Contentment means that you are in that state of being.
No drama.
Whereas happiness is a feeling, you know what I mean? Happiness is a feeling that people aspire to have, but it's not. It's just like in life. It goes up and down. It cycles. We're not going to feel it all the time, right? But if you're contented, then that contentment is a baseline.
Trust me, some people think happiness is hitting that jackpot every day.
Right.
Which is absolutely ridiculous.
It's
You
not,
can't. I mean, now
Well, it's sold well, Abby. It's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous, but given the fact that marketing and social media and all the rest of it is pushing, you've got to be happy, you've got to be happy, why aren't you happy? You know, I mean, get a grip, you know.
You're right
Life
on
is
that.
not
You're right on
black
that.
and
But
white.
what I'm trying to say is, it's not. You're not going to be laughing all day long, all year long. There will be some turns, there will be ups and downs, as you said. But what you should do, always try to be satisfied, content. You know what? This is not the best situation in my life. Having said that, I'm going to manage it, and I'm okay with it.
I'm going to make the most of it.
And I'm going to make the most of it.
Is about managing your emotions and not going, you know, plummeting down when something is not going well.
What's emotions? Emotions is feelings, is being with others. And how do we get emotions? Simply by living.
Right.
The only way not to get emotions is when you drop dead. We don't know what's going to happen afterwards, right?
Maybe we get that happiness.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Ecstatic. Forever. You know what? Trust me, some people will be happy when you leave. Not you, but a person.
Oh my goodness.
True. Somebody is going to say, oh, is she gone?
Hope you're not speaking about somebody in particular, Abby.
No. So to manage your emotions, it's not an easy job, let's be honest. It's not difficult. It's not rocket science, it's not brain surgery, but if exactly what you say, if you sit down with yourself and take a deep breath and say, you know what, let's see, where am I in life? The way I do it, I draw a line and I say, right, what am I feeling? The north of the line is my positive feelings, and the south of the line, it's explained itself, quite negative feelings. If I'm in the southern hemisphere for some reason, then I do my best to know why am I, exactly what you said, why am I feeling like that? Sad, miserable, misery, pain, guilty, why? The other day I felt guilty for something I haven't done. It's just because someone I know done something wrong, and I felt absolutely guilty.
Bought into their emotions.
That's how I felt with the friend I had.
And
exactly
that's what happens
right.
with people who empathize,
Yes,
right?
empaths
Are like that. Empaths absorb the emotion from the people. Exactly. And you have to be aware that you are an empath and that you feel what other people feel. Because it's important to be able to distinguish your feelings from someone else.
Yes.
So that awareness is really important.
It took me some time to learn.
It took me a lot of time to learn, actually. And really, the best thing is to, you know, protect yourself with almost a loving light energy each time you know you're going to be around people, so that you can be present but not open to everything that's coming in and absorb it and then take it home and not be able to sleep. And
Exactly.
So
it's tough.
we have many ways to manage our emotional well-being. In the end, as everybody said, actually directly or indirectly here, you have to manage your brain, mind. It's a mental well-being to start with. So you can do many things. One of the things we do here, we use essential oils, not to cure everything, but to help. It is a helpful way. It's a very helpful way. And we have today a beautiful person. She's specialized in using essential oils. welcome with me, please, Gemma. Hi, Gemma.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Gemma, so you have so many oils here, essential oils. What's the story behind it?
So this is just a couple of, we have over nearly 200 essential oils, and they come from the plant and they support you and your well-being. I'll start with just showing you and letting you have a smell of serenity. The oil that actually got me into essential oils. It's got a blend of very calming oils. So I'll give you a quick short recap and explanation of why I got into essential oils. I had really bad night fears, and I would wake up in the morning, I would feel so down and sad about the fears that I'd had that evening, and the more I explored, the more I learned that it was actually what was going on in my day-to-day life that then carried through into my sleep, and I needed some support. So I started using the essential oils, and it completely changed my life.
Oh wow.
I went from having night fears 5 times a week to maybe once a month. So this one is Serenity. Would you like to have a little smell?
Yes, please.
Smell or try?
You can smell it, you can try it if you want to pop a drop in your hand and be a human diffuser.
Okay.
Yeah, one drop, rub it in the palm of your hands and close your eyes. It is, so beautiful, so florally.
Very nice.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, a drop in your hands. Give yourself
strong
a
as well.
second. Yes, it's lovely. And that's one drop. And because we only have pure essential oils, there's nothing added to them, nothing taken away.
So how do you use it? I mean, do you put it on your pillow, or how do you use it?
So with a lot of essential oils, they will say spray on your pillow. That's what we're most likely to see on a bottle if we buy it from the shop or a pharmacy. With our essential oils, because of their purity, you can ingest them, you can inhale them. With emotional oils, generally speaking, you want to inhale them rather than digest them. If you use like a diffuser, if you're using them for like a gut issue, then a drop in a glass of water and ingest. And I've just got to say, there's only doTERRA essential oils you can digest. So please, any viewers that use essential oils, please don't use just as doTERRA essential oils. So with emotional oils, I would always diffuse them in a diffuser or be a human diffuser. It's free of charge. Pop them in your hands, give yourself a second, close your eyes, ground yourself, inhale, and let it work up into your limbic system. And it really is, it's just so supportive, so amazing. I do use it most days.
I saw in your catalogue you have different essential oil for different emotions, like for peace, for joy, for happiness, for tranquility, different ones. Which one is your favorite?
So we do one called Cheer. So we have single oils, which is like your lavender, your tea tree, things like that, chamomile, and then we have blends, which is around 10 different essential oils, all put into one amazing little bottle to support that specific ailment that you might have. So Cheer does what it says on the tin. It's a very uplifting, very citrusy oil blend, and it's going to make you smile.
We all need that.
Oh, don't we just?
Do we have it here?
We don't have
We
Cheer.
don't, unfortunately.
We have Balance.
Right.
Okay. So I heard you speaking earlier about having highs and lows. A lot of us go through that. A lot of us, don't we? Some days we feel like we're at the highest of our highs, and then some days we're at the lowest of our lows, and think, gosh, I just wish I had that middle ground sometimes. Like you said earlier, contentment, just that middle ground. Balance is going to do that. It's going to balance all your thoughts out. It's going to make you very grounded. It's our grounded blend. It's going to make you feel hopefully content and just on that middle ground. This is another one of my favourites. Again, human diffuser.
It's very
nice, is it?
For most of the emotional oils, or you can put it on your chest.
More?
Can you do that?
I'm blending.
Blend a different blend, another blend.
Absolutely. Throw them all in. You can't overdose.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah?
I know, I've always had a thing for scents anyway, like...
Have you?
Yeah, because scents are like real triggers, and it rests in your memory as well. So especially if you like scents, you can relate with people, to moods, to situations. they really embed into the brain, and you know, it's just because it's another sense that
So
people,
true.
you know,
They
they
found it so nice.
Yes,
It
it's
is,
lovely, but it's so true. My children walk into particular rooms of the house and say it
Right.
smells like Nana.
yeah.
It takes you back. I have that with tea tree oil.
Yeah.
Tea tree oil takes me back to my childhood. We've discussed this so many times, but when you have nits when you're younger, tea tree kills them. Literally kills
Really?
them. So although I've used tea tree all of my life, all of my adult life, as soon as I smell it, still to this day, it takes me back to my youth.
Right.
It takes me back to, you know, that childhood, getting them nits out of your hair when you've been to school. I don't know if you have that in the UK. It's terrible. It's rife, isn't it? But yeah, so it takes you back, and it's a memory thing. It's beautiful.
Wonderful. It's
This one is my favourite.
yeah.
Wild orange,
Yeah.
the happy oil.
Yes.
They call it the happy oil. So
Probably you need more of it.
yeah, so you can do a quick.
Do you get it in litre bottles?
Oh, we do. Yeah, we do loads.
Why? You're going to shower with it?
Spray it all over
Can I
Dubai.
have some, please? Send some my way.
Very nice. We have so many oils here. Now,
Thank you.
it's important, it's very important. If you want to maintain your emotional well-being, you have to do many things. If you sit still and do nothing, nothing is going to change. As Teresa said, and as Dr. Farah said, and as Elise said, and as Gemma said, you have to do something. Without doing anything, nothing is going to change. If you want some reflection in your life, positive reflection, know where you are emotionally, know where you are. If you can draw a line in a paper, any paper, and see where you are. If you are north of the line, which is positive emotions, happiness, joy, peace, tranquility, enlightened, that would be great. Stay there. If you are below the line, which is south, then you need to do something about it. Find some help. Find someone special to help you. If you can't find, or you prefer to do it yourself, you still can. Having said that, you need to know where you want to go. And be patient, because nothing comes easy and nothing comes instantly. No. How do you pronounce it? Instantly?
Instantly.
Instantly. So I did pronounce it correctly. Anyway, nothing comes easy and nothing comes instantly. Now, you need to do something about it. One more thing. Meditate. Trust me, it's going to help. We meditate every week here, and it is a great, helpful way to move forward in life. Scientifically, it's going to change you. Go on YouTube, go on Google and search why meditation scientifically is helpful to boost your emotional well-being. You can do many other things, but one last thing, find a very positive social gathering, or be with positive people, and trust me, this is going to help enormously. Actually, the Harvard University did a research, I think for more than 70 years, and they found positive relationships helps to be happy and to be enjoying this life. Thank you for listening. Bye bye now.